Hi, Cutie Pies. It's Lanikia, and I'm coming to you with another review of Four Weddings and a Funeral, Season 1, Episode 6, called Lights, Camera, Action. Okay, so Maya's dressed up, and she's going to an event. We see she's on her way to an event, and she arrives. She's right in the elevator, and she steps out, and Duffy is there, and he's like, hey, Maya, because he was talking to, I guess, people that he knew. Cash is right in front of Duffy, and she sees them, and she darts toward Gemma. And she says, oh, Gemma had to tell me something. She blew him off pretty much. And so he's like, because it was a little bit embarrassing. Oh, y'all, I'm not going to tell y'all again how much I dislike Maya. But please believe I have that same dislike for Cash as well. So then we see that Maya goes to Gemma, and she's like, I didn't want anything with you. I didn't have anything to ask you or anything, or to tell you, except that maybe you got lipstick on your teeth. And then so Maya's like, do you know what this is all about? And she's like, no. And then the next thing we know, Craig and Zara come in. And they come in, and they're like, we're back together now, so everyone's happy. And they were like, not only that, we're getting married and everything. So they're all really excited about it. So then we see that their wedding is going to be on TV. You know, the reality show that Zara was on Love Chalet. I don't remember what it's called, y'all. But anyways, they're going to do a reality show with them because, they want to carry it on. It's good for ratings and all that kind of stuff. So they're paying for the whole wedding and everything, and they're happy about that. So then Duffy and Maya are just talking, small talk, chat, chat, chat. And Craig comes over and he tells Duffy, you're going to be my best man. Of course, Duffy is very happy about that. And he asks Maya, Craig asks Maya about Ainsley, and she says she's still very upset, and that's why, she didn't come tonight and everything. So then we see Maya is inside, and Cash comes over to talk to her, and Cash wants to tell Maya, she doesn't, because she stops him, because he's wanting to tell her what they left off at the hospital about. He has feelings for her, but she stops him and she tells him, like, she doesn't want to do this. And he says, if you tell me you don't want me, if you tell me you don't have these feelings, you don't think about me and all that, then, that is what it is. So she tells him in her head, yeah, of course I have feelings for you, but her mouth says no. I didn't like this part where they were having her think in her head, because they've never really done that throughout the series. So I was like, don't start this now. Plus, I don't really look at the little Facebook page or whatever. But I was like, Maya is not my favorite character. So if anyone's going to talk in their head, she's not the one. Like, I could see Duffy doing that more than Maya, because I don't like Maya like that. Just because, like, I think she's a terrible friend, and she didn't care about being with a married man all that whole time or whatever. She just, she's not my favorite person on this thing. And I keep feeling like they're just trying to push and push to push her on as being like one of the main people. I mean, I know she's a main person, but you know how Carrie, even though it was Sex in the City and it was all the women, it was like the show was really Carrie, and then you got to know the other girls and stuff, but Carrie was the main focus. I feel like they're doing this show like that with Maya, and I'm not really here for that, because sometimes, like, even though Carrie was with Biggs, knew him before he was married, even though, they had a little affair. I feel like with Maya, we met her and he was married, and that doesn't put a good taste in some people's mouths or whatever. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Anyways, so then so she tells Cash to stop. She walks away. She tells him she doesn't want anything. And then she's writing this. What she's doing is reading us this letter that she has written, and she's about to throw it in the river. And the man says, "Hey, don't do that anymore." Excuse me. And so she doesn't throw it in the river. She can't throw it in the river. But earlier, when she and Duffy were talking, she had put on his coat because she was cold outside. So that's how that whole night ends, with her just going home. She just puts it in the coat, which was Duffy's coat. Remember that. So then Maya tells Ainsley about Craig and Zara. And Ainsley, she wants to know about it because Craig is one of her best friends, but she's still upset with him, so she doesn't want to know about it. And she says, I don't need to know information to something I'm not going to. So then we go to Duffy comes over and tells Maya things are weird between them. And he's feeling like something's weird between them. And he tells her, we could just, like, if this isn't what you really want, if you're not really into this. Sorry, my throat is dry. Sorry. if you're not really into this, we could just be friends. But you could tell when he's saying that he doesn't mean that. And she says, you want to break up? And he says, no, I don't want to break up. But I don't want to feel, this is what I felt like Duffy was saying. I don't want to feel like I'm in a relationship with you and you're not in the relationship with me. So are we in this together or are we not? Because if you don't feel the same way that I'm feeling, if the relationship, if we're better off as friends because we were good as friends, then just tell me that so that we can just be friends. And she's, so then she asks him, do you want to break up? And he says, no, I don't want to break up, but I don't want to feel, it's like when you exactly what I said. It's like when you're in a relationship and that you feel like the other person is not. And so she tells him, well, if that's the way you feel, we could break up. And I'm like, sis. And he's just looking, because that's not what he said. So, and I hate when people do this. Like, she's trying to use it. And, well, if you're feeling like that, then we should break up. No, that's how you feel. So that's why you want to break up. Like, don't try to turn this on Duffy because he's 100% in this relationship. It's her that's not. And so that she won't get any dirt on her hands, she just like, well, if you feel that way or whatever, then we just gonna break up. And so they end up breaking. That's how they break up or whatever. Duffy's really sad about it and everything. But just once again, that they should break up and be friends. But once again, it just shows, I don't know. Y'all know how I feel about Maya. Let's move on. So Cash is eating with his family and Iman, and the I don't know what he is, but from the mosque who hooked him up with Fatima, and they say, okay, it is time to meet for the families to meet, and Cash is like, we just started dating like a month, I guess. They really just started dating like a month. And I don't know how long it had been, but he said a month. But Iman is just like, well, usually, it goes a little faster than this, and I've been very lenient with you and everything. So they say the parents need to meet, and Cash agrees because remember he asked Maya, how she felt about him, and she said she didn't have those type of feelings about him. So he agrees to meet, and I think that's a horrible way to do Fatima because she's a great catch and everything. So why not just leave? Like, it's almost like she's second best. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's move on. So Craig and Zara have too many guests, and he wants to have Molly there, his daughter, but he said, I gave up gave up my rights for her mother and everything. But Zara is talking to him, and she's like, well, one day, you're going to have her, with you. And then Cash comes over, and he wants to bring +3 to the wedding. Nani, Fatima, and Bashir, because, they have to have the chaperones. And so I don't think Zara likes him. I don't think Zara likes him, but she's like, because she was like, no, and but Craig told him it was okay and they could do that. Sorry, y'all, itching. So then we see Ainsley tells Maya what happened with Duffy, and Ainsley says it has to be another guy. If you're ruining things with Duffy, then it has to be because there's another guy that you're liking or something. And Maya's just like, no, it's not that. It's just we didn't have this spark, that thing that is there that you have to have in a relationship where you just look at that person and that's just the person for you. They don't have that. So then we see Bashir and Cash talk, and Cash is just talking about how he can't get into acting because he has to always do. Oh, my niece and nephew are here, so if you hear, that's them. He always has to do. I'm sorry. Because he always has to work during the auditions. And so Cash is like, Bashir's like, I have something perfect for you. So he tells them about doing a community play. And the teacher, she walks up, and we find out that was Cash's teacher when he was younger, and she's the director, and she was like, you would be great in this. They have a role for him, and he's like, of course I'll do it, because he's able to do it at night, so he can work his boring job that he hates during the day, and then get his relief and his creativity and everything that he wants at night. Moving on along from there, Craig and Zara do dance lessons. So we see it's a lot of the quick stuff happening right here. So they give us a little thing with Craig and Zara doing dance lessons. Then they go to Bryce and Ainsley working on his place. And then I guess they're just showing how time is progressing. And then Maya is thinking about Cash, and so she wants to friend him on Facebook, but she doesn't do it, or whatever. And her boss Andrew says, "Oh, I guess I'm not gonna get the report." And she was like, "Oh, I'm finishing up now." And Marcus comes through, and he was like, "No, you're not." No, she wasn't. She was looking at Facebook. She was Facebook stalking and everything. Excuse me. Okay. So then we see Bashir, Fatima, Cash, and are rehearsing for Cash's play and everything. Then we see Duffy drops by to see Ainsley, and he came to get his blazer back. And okay, so y'all, he gets his blazer back, right? And then he's walking out, and he finds the letter that Maya writes, and he reads it. It's not addressed to anybody on there, but he reads it and he thinks it's for him. Because he's reading into it what he wants to, like things are complicated. Of course, I love you. I'll always love you. The friendship. Anyways, he tells Craig about the letter, and Craig is like, "Well, why? Like, do you feel like she wrote that to you? Do you think that maybe she meant that for someone else?" And he was like, "No, of course she meant it for me, or whatever," because he feels like she left it in his coat pocket on purpose. Um, So, anyways, Craig just tells him go for it. Look at the big gesture he did for Zara when he wanted to win her back. So just go for it and see what happens. So then Ainsley is working okay, so it's the night of the wedding now, and everyone is pulling up. It's big, it's fabulous, everything is beautiful, everything is over the top, it's really cute. And so then Ainsley comes up. We see not Ainsley come up, but we see Ainsley is working on Bryce's apartment and everything with Tony too, and she's just distracting herself on a Saturday night because she wants to be there and she wants to support Craig, but she can't do it because we've seen throughout the episode that she's looking, on his Facebook. She's looking at all the stuff that they're doing as they prepare for the wedding because, again, they've been friends forever. But she doesn't go. And they kind of... Bryce tells her to, pretty much, you're not going to this wedding because you're jealous. You're jealous that you didn't get married and Craig is. And so that's why you can't go, because it's not just about Craig, still being friends with Cash, because you would have gotten over that. You can't stand to see him getting married. And she realizes, oh my gosh, I am a little bit jealous, and that makes me a horrible person. But Ainsley is one of my favorite people. Sometimes she can be a little shallow, but even with that, she never truly means to hurt her friends. And so that's why she's one of my favorite characters on here. But now number one favorite now that Bashir's gone. And I still like Zara, but I love, not Bashir, but Quentin. But I love Bashir. That's my favorite character on here. And he's just like a side character, in here. But he's the best to me. So, okay, so then they're at the wedding, and Cash tells Maya that he's been cast in a community production and everything, and she's happy for him. And y'all, at this moment, Bashir comes up, Fatima comes up, and Nani comes up, and Maya learns because Bashir says, "Who are you with?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm single now." She's single again. So Cash is looking like, what? Because, he's done this whole thing with Fatima because he's using her as a backup because he couldn't have Maya, which is selfish, and that's wrong to do. But, so then Maya finds out that Fatima Cash is going through with this arranged marriage and everything. So that's that. Okay, so then the wedding starts, and we see that the wedding starts, and we see that Zara is going down the aisle, and she looks gorgeous, of course, and she has this long veil. It's a long train, veil, the train and everything. And on the bottom of y'all, it says hotels.com. And I said, girl, no. But hey, she got to get this wedding paid for. She got a dream wedding. Or she said, if it has to have hotels.com on it, that's cool. We're airing it for TV. But what I'm going to do is just, in the wedding photos, you don't even have to show that. So then we find out the wedding is being filmed because she's giving this heartfelt speech and everything, and the director's like, cut, because your makeup is messed up, and Gemma's just like, what have I got myself into? So moving on from that, oh, and Gemma looks really pretty. I love a redhead with wearing green, because that's such a pretty, that's such a pretty combination for them. And so she looked really pretty, and her dress was nice. Did I like what Maya was wearing? I don't really think I Maya was okay. She looked prettier at their engagement party, but she was okay there as well too. Um, then we see Maya goes up because the wedding has happened now. So then Maya goes over to Gemma, and she's like, Gemma, whatever it is, and she's like, they've delegated me to the singles table, and Maya was like, no, they haven't, and she looked and she was like, oh, it's a spinster, and she's like, no, I'm a widow, not a spinster, sister. And then Garrett, because he lost Zara to Craig. He comes over but they don't do anything. He tries to hit on all the women. He doesn't end up getting with any of them or whatever. That we'll talk about that later. But then so that's it with Maya and all them. They just talk. She just tells Maya that Yuma just tells Maya that she's lonely. She misses Quentin. He didn't like weddings, but they would make up banter and talk, and it was just somebody that she could be with. He understood her. They were in love. You know what I'm saying? So then Gemma gets up and she goes outside, and I see what y'all are doing, and I would be here for that, but not so quickly. You know what I mean? So they pick her up, and she goes outside. And excuse me, she's with Duffy. So she goes and gets with Duffy, and he's practicing his speech. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And he was like telling her that he found a letter that Maya wrote, and he's ready to declare his love for her when he's giving his best man speech. And she's like, no, don't do it. So she takes the letter out of Duffy's hand, and she tells him, "This is not about you, sir." And he's like, "Yes, it is. What do you mean?" She said, "I can't wait. I miss, or I want to run my fingers through your dark hair." You do not have dark hair. You have dirty blonde or something. He was like, "It gets dark. The British sun or something is lighting it up." And then what else did she say? She talked about being complicated, and Given is just like, this would not be complicated, Duffy. Y'all have been friends forever, dated 5 seconds, so why would it be complicated? This is not about you. But Duffy does not believe her. He says it's about her. She's like, do what you want to do, but I'm telling you, don't ask her, because that would be a mistake, because she's in love with someone else based on this letter. So then, okay, so then we had to go to the first dance, and that's real cute. I was like, oh, this is cute. Oh, that's not them. Yeah, they had, because you remember they were trying to do their first date. They were practicing their first dance, and they were horrible at it. They could not dance, and so they hired 2 people that look like them, so you never see their face. Like, the crowd knows, but you never see their face, and it's the first dance. And then the 2 people run to the back, and Zara and Craig run to the front, like, oh gosh, we did that dance or whatever. That was real cute. I thought it was cute. And then we see Cash finds Maya, and they start talking about, you didn't tell me you were getting married. And he was like, he's known her for 3 months. They've kind of been doing this process for 3 months, but it only got serious in the last month because of what Maya told him or whatever. And then we see Bashir, Nani tells Bashir, because this is all at the same time, I guess it's happening. So Maya is with Cash. Cash is with Maya. So that leaves Bashir, Nani, and Fatima at the table, because they're in the reception now. So Nani says, because Fatima is like looking out at the people dancing, and Nani says, ask her to dance. And he was like, no, we're not supposed to do that. Like, in the culture, they're not supposed to do that. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're so boring. Ask her to dance. I love her. And so he asked her to dance. And as they're dancing, you realize that Bashir has really been paying attention to Fatima. Like, I don't think he did it in a bad way, as far as he's not that friend that would go after a friend's girl. You know what I'm saying? They've been together this whole time. They've been with Nani, and Nani has been feeding him information about Fatima, because Nani likes him. And after they got up to dance, the look on her face, I was like, she's setting them up. Because I don't think she liked Cat. Like, I don't think she disliked him. I just think she's gotten to know Bashir, and she's like, I would want him with my granddaughter. And so, anyways, I thought it was really cute. Like, we learned that he knows a lot about her, Like he told her, I think it was about like some kind of incident she got in, because she says she's boring. She said sometimes I think, I had my wild days, which weren't really that wild, but she was like, I had those days and now I just feel boring. And he's like, you are not boring. You speak 4 languages. And he was just telling her about herself, like why he finds her fascinating. And it was like, dang. Like Cash probably couldn't say any of that about her or whatever. And most of the time he's fighting even the tradition, like how it's supposed to go, anyways. And it's like, I don't know, it was just a cute little dance between those two. And so I was like, okay, now if they got together, I wouldn't be mad at this. But so then they bust that, like it's a slow dance or whatever, and then they bust out and start doing, like they start being goofy on the dance floor and everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, get these two together. Like if you have to get somebody together, make these two, because they're not hurting anybody if they were to do this. Because to be quite honest, Cash does not want her. This is a great catch, and everyone keeps telling him that, and he knows she's a great catch, but he doesn't really want her like that. So get her with somebody who does, and Bashir would be the perfect person because he would appreciate her and she would appreciate him. That's my 2 cents on that, y'all. So then we see Maya tells Cash that she has feelings for him, and they're like, what? But she's like, I can't do this. We can't hurt Ainsley and all this. And just two selfish people. Get them together. They're just both selfish to me. I can't stand these two characters really, but they because they're so selfish, it makes you like the other people more. So I guess whatever. So then they find out they're going to their honeymoon. The viewers voted, and they're sending them to Antarctica. I don't know. Excuse me. So Duffy, he's giving his toast, y'all. Okay. Duffy is about to give his toast, and then here comes Ainsley, and she comes in and she steals the mic from him. I was like, oh, y'all do Duffy so dirty. But she takes the mic from him, and she ends up giving a really nice speech to Craig, and it was really sweet, to Craig and Zara and everything. And she and Craig make up and they hug and they get through it. While this is happening, Duffy looks and he sees Cash and Maya together, and he sees that there's tension between the two, and he's like, oh my god, it clicks on him. It's him. He is who Maya can't be, says it's complicated and all of that. And so they go to their separate tables and everything, and then Ainsley is done with her speech. She's made up with Craig, and they give the mic back to him, and he can't speak. He can't do it. He can't give the speech because Duffy is devastated in that moment. And if you've ever had, like, you found out, you were in love with someone, or you've had your heart broken, that first few moments when you find that information out and you just trying to process everything. And that's exactly how they caught him when it was time to give his best man speech. He was just trying to process everything that was happening with Maya and Cash. And so he's like, oh my gosh. And so he bombs on the speech and everything. But moving on from that. So Cash is about to leave. The wedding is wrapping up, and Cash is about to leave, and he goes and speaks to Craig and Zara, and they're like, "Oh, everybody else just left. They didn't even say goodbye." And so Ainsley is there, and he tells her hi, and she's like, "Hi," and he was like, "How have you been?" Or what, something he said, and she was like, "Yeah, I wanted to know what the end of a wedding looks like," and they're like, "Woo, burn," So he then leaves or whatever, and Duffy Gemma goes and she checks on Duffy because she sees him, and you can see something is bothering him. And he tells her, he found out that she was right. The letter was not for him. That Maya is in love with someone else. She asks him who. He says, it doesn't even matter. So then we see Ainsley is at the bar because she's getting lit at the reception, and she's ordering shots or whatever. And then Garrett is there, and he's like, I've been turned down with every woman. I don't know if I'm gonna. I was like, okay, I thought y'all was gonna have Ainsley with Bryce, and now you have Ainsley going to sleep with Garrett. I don't know. It is what it is. So then we see Fatima, Bashir, Nani, and Cash is dropping everyone off. So he drops Bashir off and everything, and he tells Cash good night, and then he talks to Fatima. I can't remember what he said, but they had their little inside little joke and everything. But he likes her as a person and everything. Nani's out over there knocked out. And so then he's going to drop Fatima off, and she just tells him, like, she's like, listen, I like you, but honestly, sometimes you talk and you complain all the time and you talk about your boring job. And she says, I don't even listen to half of the stuff you say. Like, she does not like him like that. We find out that she doesn't even like him like that. So the whole time we're thinking, I was thinking, he might hurt her. She don't even want him. The only reason she was looking forward to their dates was because she knew she was going to get the chance to see Bashir. She was going to get the chance to see Bash. So I hope they keep these people, I hope they keep them, because that would be a cute little couple to keep around and everything. And Craig and Zara, they could call them double dates, and they could add that kind of storyline into there or whatever. But so Cash is just looking like stunned, and I was like, I know he can't have like his feelings hurt. But anyway, she breaks up with him, y'all. But I'm like, I know you can't be upset about this, but I don't think he was. He was just looking stunned because I don't know, maybe he thought she liked him like that, but the whole time she's like, I like your friend. but he wants Maya anyway, so this is not that big of a deal. Go ahead and move on. So then Maya sees Duffy, and he goes in on her, and he tells her, yeah, I found that letter. I know you're in love with Cash and everything. And she was like, oh, Duffy, nothing happened, and all that kind of stuff. And she says, please don't tell Ainsley. And even in this moment, Maya thinks about herself, and this is why I don't like her. And he's like, no, I would never tell Ainsley, because I would never hurt her like that. And that's how it goes off. And you know what? I'm so sick of Maya. Yeah, I'm just sick of her. But this episode was actually pretty good. Y'all are right. I see the comments from the few people who do watch this. Y'all are right. It gets better as it goes along. And I'm going to be doing episode 7, tomorrow. Because I got to do Married to Medicine today. But it gets better as you go along with it. I do like it. Still can't stand Maya. Still can't stand Cash. Because I know I go in on Maya a lot, but I feel the exact same way about Cash. I think they're both selfish people. And Maya was saying something when she was talking to Cash earlier, like, I don't want to be that selfish person. I was like, you had no problem being a selfish person since we met you on this episode. You were sleeping with a married man. You took this other guy's job where y'all have to split the salary now. And you haven't had a problem being selfish this whole time, but now when it comes to this, you want to be like, oh, I don't want to be selfish, and I don't want to be doing my friends wrong. And Cash is like, I don't want to be selfish either. And I'm like, it's kind of selfish of you to be trying to get married to this girl when you know you don't even like her like that. You're only settling for her. You went through with the whole wedding with Ainsley when you knew you liked her friend, and then you left her at the on the altar. So like, both of y'all are selfish. Both of you deserve each other. Go ahead and do it. Like, y'all gonna have to, if y'all are really trying to push Maya to be like a fan favorite for me, y'all have to clean this up a little bit. And I don't even know exactly what they could do, because I would still dislike her. So I think it's just done. It's cooked. It's over. But yeah. Alright guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.